You and I have talked a little bit over these past few weeks, and I haven't known how to bring it up on the podcast, but I think Sandra, I really want to ask her about this. She's the perfect person to ask. This whole phenomenon of Karens, and this is the memes now of if
Yeah.
you are a middle-aged white woman and you complain or asked to call the manager, you are deemed a Karen because you're entitled. And I keep saying to my kids, I think, do you think I'm a Karen? I mean, I just feel under siege they keep saying, no, mom, you don't understand the meme. And the meme is about, and it began as a kind of still cruel, like a sort of working class woman going
With a wedge
into
haircut.
with the wedge
With
haircut.
yeah, with the
eh,
sort of sideburns and a very tight
right.
back, and she
And
wants to see the
complaining
manager.
about a black employee at the Walmart. That's how I think it began.
Oh, I didn't know that part of it.
That's at least according to Urban Dictionary and my kids. But I
Okay.
just find, I think, and I want to talk to Sandra about this too, we talk about invisibility as middle-aged, but I realize that middle-aged women are at that point in their lives where we're the most useless. Where it's, to society, we're the most useless. Because think about it, we're no longer hot babes, if we ever were. Our kids are probably mostly grown up and don't need us anymore. Maybe our husbands are looking at sports cars more hungrily than they're looking at us. And yet we're not quite ready to be put on the shelf. So I think there's just this welling up suddenly against, what they're calling Karens is against, us middle-aged white women. I just know I will never, ever, ever, ever ask to see the manager ever again, unless it's about telling them what an amazing service I've had.
Well, okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm ready to buy your diagnosis of what it is to be a middle-aged woman, because I actually don't think that we are necessarily invisible. I don't think that we're not needed, and I don't think our husbands don't desire us. I mean, really. I do think that we are at this, and this is something Sandra writes about so hilariously and beautifully in her book. We are in this really interesting pivot point, though. I mean, you're onto something, but it's that we are, as in terms of, say, sexual desirability, we're definitely out of the hot babe territory, not into the geriatric facility just yet, but we're somewhere like, everyone's trying to find their way a little bit at this age, right? How high does the skirt go? How low
Right.
does the hair go? How blonde should you be, really? Women of our age, which we're mid-50s, right? Sometimes, and I'll cop to this, if you stay in shape, you can have that mortifying experience of hearing like a car rumble up behind you as somebody checks you out from behind. And then they pull past, they accelerate. It's like, oh, never mind.
It's like some horror movie.
Like,
the beautiful blonde turns around and she's a monster.
She's 56.
Skeleton.
But, that's what I'm talking about. There's that we're in that interesting pivot time, and our children actually do need us, but they also need us at an age. They may feel some need for us, but they're at an age where they feel especially that they should repudiate parental guidance. And well, my kids range in age from 14 to 26, so there's a lot of room in there.
Yeah, we should mention you do have five kids.
I do have 5 kids, yeah. And that's the age range, and so again, both needed and unneeded, youthful and beautiful, not youthful and beautiful. Everything's kind of on the seesaw there, and so that the Karen stuff, as far as speaking your mind to a manager, the sad thing about it is, I think for a lot of women, you have to learn to be assertive. You have to learn to manage, let's say, a family, a career, a household, whatever. So you're at the top of your capabilities. And at our age, in the mid-50s, you're not afraid of a little bit of pushback, and you also know what you're entitled to. That is to say, not as a white woman, but as a citizen, as a customer.
Yeah.
You've lived long enough and you've eaten enough dinners that you know that if the food comes and it's overcooked, it's actually not your problem. It's their problem, and it's reasonable in a in a kind of commercial transaction to return something to the kitchen if it isn't what it's supposed to be, right?
Uh-oh,
And
I think you're the Karen. I think you're the Karen.
no.